Hello, my name is Christina, and today I'm going to be talking to you, about people, and about the neighbor sitting next to you. Why don't you go ahead and say hello? Say hello. Go ahead. I'm going to be talking to you about your sister on the other side of the country. Your brother in... Sorry, I just remembered. I have to send an email. I'll just take one quick sec. Sorry, I promise I'm in just a moment. Sorry. Send. All right. Awkward. We've all been there. The halted conversation because someone just had to send an email in that moment. It's not a great feeling. Here where we are gathered is at the University of Toronto, is the birthplace of communication theory. The place where Marshall McLuhan, perhaps one of the greatest communication theorists of all time, came up with the idea, invented the idea, that the medium is the message. This has never been more obvious than in the age of the smartphone. These devices, which I can bet probably every single one of us have in this room, have changed the way that we live. These devices dominate our everyday, affecting our work, impacting our intimacy, and shifting our thinking. Today, I'm here to tell you about how a 1-month fast from the internet changed my life. I'll share, based on my experiences, how to set parameters around your technology use and how those changes can reap you amazing rewards as you choose to use the internet as one tool out of many. Now, for all the affordances of our new technologies, we haven't established healthy norms or habits as a culture, and it is costing us our time, our creativity, our energy, and our relationships. I took a month off the internet. Why? Well, the benefits of the internet are numerous. Skype and photo sharing, for example. I am one of 8 kids. I know how incredible these tools can be with my brothers and sisters all over the globe. But it is mixed with an ever-dominating persistence for our attention, and it is this I found unsettling. I was recently watching a documentary in which there was a scene of a priest conducting a blessing service for smartphones. Yes, exactly. Here was a man dressed in holy vestments, calling upon the God of the universe to bless a BlackBerry. I had a completely visceral response, shock and awe at the scene unfolding before my eyes. There was something wrong with this picture, right? So I decided to take a month off the internet. I wanted to figure out what my uneasiness was all about. I had suspicions. I'd grown tired of Facebook mediating my relationships, like missing a friend coming to Toronto because she had posted to my wall and I hadn't checked in time. I felt the internet made me lazy as a thinker and as a writer and as a friend. I knew it allowed me to emotionally disengage, whiling away the time with ever-ready filler via Facebook, Twitter, and the like. The truth is, I was both bored and completely obsessed with the web. I stepped offline for 31 days and chronicled the journey by handwriting or typewriting a letter to a friend about the experience every day. I was searching for life beyond our steady state of distracted connectedness. What did I discover? I learned that the smartphone check-ins I made multiple times a day were in actuality not time savers, but time suckers. That if I, as a mother, wanted to engage with new ideas, to study and create, then I would have to save up all those 1-minute, 2-minute, 10-minute windows and bank them for things I really wanted to do, like write poetry, Skype my sister, phone my grandma, or read a book. Stepping offline caused me to remember that my children were watching and practicing every move I made. For better or for worse, word and in deed. As a woman and a writer, I discovered a peace, a quietness of mind I had been hungering for a very long time. Now, not all of us have the desire or the luxury of unplugging this way. What we do share, however, is a universal sense that something must be done to rope the nodes in. But what? Read Schuchart. He is a media expert from NYU. He says this: "It is very difficult to step out of the immediacy of media, the necessity of it, because we believe we have control over their effects, because we made these technologies. But the truth is, we make our technologies, but they remake us in their image and for their purposes. 90% of adults and teens have cell phones, and the smartphone number continues to climb every day. The number of mobile users in Africa actually surpasses that of the United States and the UK. And in some African countries, more people have access to a mobile phone than they do to electricity or water. Our internet use has shifted profoundly from stationary computers to mobile devices that travel with us all throughout the day. We are always on, never off. We weren't born into the world with smartphones in our hands. I can just imagine my little baby boy with his mini smartphone. And there won't be anyone to type our final quip on Twitter upon our death. Yet these are the items that dominate our every moment. A neighbor of mine recently shared with me that every time she goes to sit down and feed her little boy Alistair, she grabs her phone to check in on Facebook or check messages. She shared with me that she feels grieved because of how many times she realized that she looked into her phone instead of into her sweet baby boy's face. During my fast, I made phoning my grandma a priority. She lives on the other side of the country. By some great grace, instead of picking up my phone to check Twitter or Facebook for the 16th time that day, I picked up my phone and dialed her number. It turned out that that would be the last lucid conversation I would have with her because she passed away shortly later that year. I am no great example. When it comes to wasting time on an iPhone, I am a worst offender. We, you and I, have traded communing, being with people in the real world for a counterfeit. So what is my big idea? It is to set limits around our technology use now, to be disciplined in our usage, and this discipline will lead to our joy. We must remind ourselves and to reveal to our children the wonder found only in the real world, the beauty and peace in the stillness of the outdoors, the sense of accomplishment and joy in writing a letter to a loved one, the sheer ridiculous delight in playing a board game. These are the things that will motivate us to set aside our smartphones, close the lids on our laptops, and pay attention to the world right in front of us. And why is it imperative that we teach this to the kids in our lives? Because we can remember a time before the smartphone. They can't. We can and must be deliberate in our consumption now, in our workplaces, in our homes. Present people, people that look you right in the eye, are a rare and wonderful breed. Imagine being that kind of executive, that kind of parent, that kind of friend, that kind of journalist. Google Glass has been developing and will launch next year wearable computers. Have you seen these? They're like Iron Man, like mask things, okay. Imagine for a second that they become as popular as the iPhone. How will we then be able to tell if a person is looking at us or shooting a video or checking their stock portfolio? We won't. Not unless they take them off, set them aside, and give us their full attention. We can start now. We can set the parameters around technology use that will be used for years to come. I have a few ideas. First, make people priority. When you're with someone, set aside your handheld device, silence it, and give them your full attention. Look them in the eyes. Make them feel like the most important person in that moment, and they will do the same for you. Let's make social smartphone fondling a faux pas. 2, drop your phone at the door. Let's reclaim sacred spaces. When you get home from work, drop your BlackBerry at the door with your keys. If you have a family, you will be more present to them, and they will love you for it. And if you are single, you will carve out a quiet haven at the end of your day, and you will love you for it. Phones at the dinner table are a no-no, period. 3rd, honor the holy hours. We have a window of time when we first wake up that will set the course for our entire day. Spend it by reaching out to a loved one, meditating on a goal, reading a scripture, or simply sitting in quiet. The time is yours, and it is currency. Since the late 1990s, we have embraced cell phones, email, and Google with wild abandon, but our disciplines and habits have not caught up. We have the opportunity to change that. We have the opportunity to use the internet as one tool out of many. One artist I interviewed has set up a mini trampoline in her studio. When she feels her fingers beginning to twitch, wanting to check how many new views she's had on Flickr in the last 3 minutes, she runs over to her mini trampoline and she jumps madly on it for a few minutes, and then she goes back to work. Use the internet like any tool. Take it out for a specific purpose, and then put it away. We don't use a screwdriver to butter toast. We don't use a knife to write a love letter. We are living in a constant state of information overload and a vacuum of joy. We have too much information and not enough wonder. We need a new equilibrium, and we have the opportunity to choose it now. C.S. Lewis said, "Practice the discipline of planned neglect. Discipline yourself to pursue the better." We live in a world full of computers and people. People are better. Choose people. Thank you.
I'm passionate about helping you live a life with more joy, fewer screens, and better habits. If this is for you, then sign up for my free prompts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at the link below. Thank you so much for watching.